This is what can happen when a ship encounters a mine. And you don't always have to sink the ship to succeed. Damage alone can be enough to take a ship out of the fight or create fear and hesitation in both civilian and military shipping. G'day, I'm Andy Perry. I spent more than 30 years in the Royal Australian Navy working in mine warfare. After recent events in the Strait of Hormuz, friends and family have asked me how sea mines actually work. So I'd like to walk you through it in plain language. We'll start off with contact mines and then we'll go through how influence mines work. This is the horn from a contact mine. Once it brushes up against a ship and the horn is struck, it will break. Everything that follows is automatic. Inside the horn there is a small glass vial. When the horn bends on contact, the vial breaks. That releases acid into the battery, and now the mine has power. It's activated. The firing circuit is now active, and the detonator fires, causing the main charge to explode. All of this happens in a fraction of a second. These contact mines sit on or just below the surface and can be very difficult to spot, especially in rough seas or at night time. And it's that uncertainty that creates fear for anyone operating in a suspected mine threat area, somewhere like the Strait of Hormuz right now. So, in this example, the mine is tethered to an anchor on the seabed. As the ship passes, it brushes up against the mine and the impact will trigger one of the horns, which sets off a chain reaction leading to an explosion. Depending on the size of the charge, which is usually around 300 to 600 kilograms, the explosion will cause extensive localized damage. And as observed in real case scenarios, it may also cause significant damage to internal systems and the structure of the ship. As you can see, you will end up with severe localized damage to the hull, and water will begin flooding into the ship. If the crew doesn't respond quickly enough, it will affect the stability of the ship and most likely its ability to continue with the mission. This is the USS Samuel B. Roberts after striking a contact mine in 1988. The explosion caused severe damage to the hull, nearly broke the ship's back, and caused major flooding in the engineering spaces. If it wasn't for excellent damage control from the ship's crew, the ship would have likely been lost. In the end, they saved the ship, but it was no longer operational. This is the USS Tripoli after striking an Iraqi mine in 1991. It was a Lugum 145 contact mine. As you can see, the explosion tore a large hole through the side of the ship. This detonation caused structural damage, shock through the hull, and significant flooding. This is the same damage from a different angle. You can see the effect that the explosive energy had on the hull. That interaction can be incredibly violent. The mines in the top right were seized by US forces in September 1987. This was about 5 months before the Samuel B. Roberts strike. They are believed to be of the same type and even the same batch. That strike changed the course of operations in the Persian Gulf, leading to Operation Praying Mantis. This was the United States response to the mine strike and the largest naval warfare engagement since World War II. And these are the simpler type of sieve mines that have been used for over 120 years. Now we'll move on to influence mines. Influence mines aren't new. This is a German influence mine from World War II. The British recovered one early in the war. They reverse engineered it, built their own and developed ways to counter it at sea. So while the technology has evolved, the concept has been around since the beginning of that war. Unlike contact mines, influence mines don't need to physically touch the ship. They sit on the seabed and listen for the ship's signature. That signature could be magnetic, acoustic, or pressure, or a combination of these. There are other more specific detection methods, but these are the main ones. Once a ship passes into the influence area, the mine will detonate beneath the hull, and that's a key difference. Instead of punching a hole in the ship's side, the explosion will lift the ship from underneath the hull, which can be far more damaging to the structural integrity of the ship. Modern smart sea mines can do more than just detect the ship passing overhead. These mines are capable of recognising certain classes of ships. As an example, they could target a tanker but not a destroyer, or target a destroyer but not a patrol boat. They also have ship counts, where these mines will only fire after a specific number of ships have passed over the top. Once the pre-programmed conditions have been met, the mine will detonate beneath the desired hull. When a mine detonates on the seabed, it releases a large amount of energy very quickly. That energy creates a rapidly expanding gas bubble beneath the ship. As that bubble expands, it can lift the ship from the centre of the hull, and ships are not designed to be lifted from a specific point like that. As that energy vents towards the surface, it will escape into the atmosphere, and you will see a plume of water shoot up into the sky. Then as the gas bubble collapses, the ship loses support directly beneath the hull. This can cause further structural damage and in some cases results in the sinking of the ship. This is what it looks like in practice. These images are from the sinking of HMAS Torrens in 1999. It was actually a torpedo, but the physics are the same. The explosion lifts the hull from underneath, and the structure of the ship is forced beyond its limits. As the gas bubble collapses, the ship loses support at the same position beneath the hull, and the structure continues to fail. And this is why influence mines are so dangerous. As you can see, the ship will now start breaking up. And in many cases, this is the result of that explosive energy. Mine countermeasure operations and mine clearance operations is not just about detection. It's also about being able to classify the contact, identify the contact, and then ultimately neutralising that contact. Each of these steps take time, and they often require different systems and specialist mine warfare personnel, and this can be a drawn-out process. Just wanted to speak briefly about the Strait of Hormuz and the mine types that have been reported to be have been laid over there by the Iranians. We've got Mahem 3, which is a moored influence mine, and it's set to activate about 3 metres from the ship. So it's capable to 100 metres, and we've got the Mahem 7, which is a bottom influence mine. I think it's good to go to about 35 metres. Both of these mines are quite capable of causing significant damage to shipping, particularly in a high traffic area like the Strait of Hormuz. Even the threat of these mines can disrupt shipping, as we've already seen. Even without a confirmed mine strike in the Strait of Hormuz, and without confirmation that mines have even been laid, the impact on shipping has already been significant. That's the psychological power of this weapon. Thanks for watching.